be the change that you want to see in the world. That's what I'm doing. 'Cause for the love of God, I spend so much of my time looking for someone who is talking about the Pacers, and maybe I'm still like missing people, and I'm not even maybe I'm definitely obviously there are some people talking about the Pacers, but like I want my guys to talk about the Pacers. I want Kenny to talk about the Pacers. I want somebody on national television to talk about the Pacers. I don't really care who, and I just feel like it doesn't happen. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't happen. So I'm being the change that I want to see, and I am talking about the Pacers. I am making a video where I talk about a team with a P, an A, a C, an E, an R, and an S in the name. Otherwise, there's usually a K in there. But the Pacers, oh my God, what is going on? We're on the most insane stretch of basketball I've seen in a while. Not in like a sense of that we're playing really well. Like we're playing okay, but it's not like that. It's that Obi Toppin hits a shot. Miles Turner has a crazy block. Nembhard hits a shot. Halliburton hits a shot. It's the most like exciting basketball I've seen in so long, and I'm so ready for the playoffs. I want the playoffs to come so bad, and but the problem is that will almost immediately be met with failure, because I mean, let's maybe not immediately met with failure. I mean, maybe like very maybe. We right now I think we're the 4. I'm on ESPN on my phone. Let me check it. We are the 4 with a full game over Milwaukee, I think. Yeah, that's a full game. I don't think we play them again. We don't. We play the Cavs twice though. But at that point, they'll be. Ooh, why even think about that? They'll be resting their starters. That's awesome. I didn't even think about that. The Bucks and the Pistons are going to be fighting it out in the last 2 days of the season, and we're going to be facing the Cavaliers G League team. That's so sick. That's awesome. Okay, but I just I understand why we're not being talked about, right? Like I think we should be being talked about anyways, because of the reasons to talk about the Pacers are more relevant than the reasons not to, at least a little bit. I'm not suggesting that we have to be on TV once a week every week, or I mean maybe that's normal, but I'm not suggesting we need to be on TV all the time, because there's some reasons that you wouldn't want to, which I'll get to, but like we're again just this stretch of basketball is incredibly newsworthy, I would have to imagine, and I would love to be getting some attention, but instead it's Kenny's podcast is a 20-minute deep dive on the Warriors again. I love you, Kenny, but please, somebody. I don't care who it is. I just wanted someone to talk about him. But Halliburton's been so good. Benedict Mathurin, I think he was hurt for a little bit. I don't think it was a huge deal, but I think he was hurt for a little bit. And since he's been back, he's been really good. Especially, I think it was the last game that we played against, who was it? Was it the Nets game that he had a trillion rebounds? It was the Nets game that he had a trillion rebounds. The Pacers, one of the main reasons that the Pacers lose games is that we just can't rebound the ball. We're just too frequently playing 5 out and having relatively small lineups, I think, with the exception in those lineups being Miles Turner, who is sitting behind the three-point line because he's one of the better shooting bigs in the league, I think. I'm not super versed in everybody else in the league, but I mean Miles he's a pretty good three-point shooter. So we struggle. But in six, I didn't watch all those rebounds. I've just kind of been showing up and opening up my phone and being like, I wonder if this game is close. And then it's been yes for like a week and a half. But those 16 rebounds, 5 of them being offensive rebounds from our, how tall is Ben? From our 6'5" shooting guard. I love it. I love it. And I would love in a world where Halliburton is healthy again, which will be tonight. I'm recording this. It is 1:46 p.m. on March the 22nd. So, you know, we're playing the Nets in 3.5 hours, and maybe Halliburton is back. But with Halliburton back, I would love to see Nembhard push to the bench. I know he's been okay in the past few days. I've just kind of lost faith a little bit right now in the Nembhard thing, especially in the starting lineup, because I just don't think that that's where his skills are best utilized. I think that having him and Halliburton next to each other is a little tough. I know Nembhard's been a great defender, but I don't know, Halliburton's not a good defender, and then having the other guy there be really small. Let me see how tall Nembhard is. I really should check these things. God, Pascal had a terrible, terrible, terrible game. Like, probably Pascal's worst game as a pacer. I'd hope. See, but even Nembhard, this last game, he had 9 points on 12 shots. That's terrible. Sorry. Yeah, he's averaging 10 points on 46% from the field. It's just, how tall is he? He's 6'4". I mean, that's a little taller than I thought. But still, 6'4", 190. It's just a little concerning. Like, we got to the playoffs last year, and as good as a defender as he was, dude, he couldn't stop Brunson for shit. We all looked at those numbers, dude. I remember them putting that shit on screen. It was like, yeah, in these 2 games, these 2-3 games, Nembhard has been defending Brunson for like 41 shots, and Brunson's hit 26 of them or something. And it's just, it's tough. Obviously, we won that series, but it's just something that I worry about, and I think I would rather have him coming off the bench. And I would rather our starting lineup be Halliburton, Ben, Nesmith, Pascal, and Miles. And then have everything else shifting in. Obviously, there's all the stuff we're talking about with Jarris right now, which is really difficult because we really wanted him to play. And then he did play, and it was bad. It sucks when you want something and then you get it and you were wrong. I don't know. Saying that we were wrong because he struggled in the fourth quarter is a little strong, but it still doesn't feel good. When you want Anthony Richardson to not throw that many interceptions, and he just kind of does. Oh, hi, Mac. Nice guy. No, I'm recording a video. But yeah, it's just tough. And what was it? Was it Ben Shepherd? Oh man, Ben Shepherd. What happened? His last game, he took 6 shots. He didn't hit any of them. Let's look at the game log. This month, okay, he's had a couple solid games, but since our crazy streak has begun, he has taken 3, 4, 5, 6, 14 threes, I think. I think it's 14 threes, and he has hit 1. It's 1 3 in those games. That includes also 3 more shots from inside the arc that he hit. So it's not like he stopped hitting threes and started cutting more, He's just stopped playing well. He's 6'6"? What? Am I crazy, or did I not think, or is Ben Shepherd being 6'6" ridiculous? Let's check that again. No way. All right. Um. Yeah. I don't know. This is where I get to the point on why the Pacers are maybe not like why I in a way understand why they're not getting talked about a lot, because they're, like the playoff run last year was kind of, hinged on all of our guys being efficient, right? All, like simply just playing, everybody going out there and playing good basketball. No one was like absolutely ridiculous. It wasn't one guy dragging us there. It was we had 10 guys playing good ball. And that's just not what's happening right now. We're having a lot of guys who really just aren't getting there. God, the bench in this Brooklyn game, it's hard to look at. God, Obi really dragged himself out of the mud with that shot in that whole game against Minnesota. It was almost over for him, dude. I it's really tough because I feel good about that starting lineup that I listed earlier. With Ben in place of Nemby. But if the bench that we're talking about is Nemhard, Obi, Jarris, Thomas Bryant, TJ, and Ben Shepherd, with some of these guys that were, I don't think any of the guys that are playing right now would get any playoff time. I can't imagine Tony Bradley's gonna get minutes, or Quentin Jackson's gonna get minutes. Even Jarris, dude. I feel like they're not gonna feel good about putting the ball in his hands, and that's something that's been difficult, and maybe that'll be better with Nemhard on the bench, is giving the bench a real facilitator rather than having it be TJ, who, I mean, well, he is a facilitator. He's really just lost that ability to score, that little tiny jump shot that he was taking. Like, he would do the Steve Nash thing and then do a little turnaround jumper. It's not going in anymore. It's just not going in. And like, maybe this changes in the playoffs. Maybe like last year it switches, and I'm gonna say, I don't remember if it was. I don't remember how good it was in the regular season. I'm more locked in on our regular season this year than I was last year. But like me again, so maybe that gets better. I just don't feel good about banking on that being the case. And so I would love a world where the second unit is led by Nemhard, who can take the ball out of Jarris's hands more, like specifically Jarris I'm talking about, right? Like I'm talking about how this relates to him, and not forcing him, not putting him on an island and having him figure it out right now. And like, hopefully he can do that later in his career, but that's just not where he's at. Making him more of a spot up guy, or a guy who's taking advantage of certain looks, and letting Nemhard feed that to him while still being a threat. Because, you know, even if I don't feel super confident in him anymore. I mean, last year in the playoffs when Halliburton went down, he really stepped in. He earned the money that he got. We were like, oh my god, I cannot believe he signed that right now. We got a bargain. Now I don't feel necessarily that it's a bargain. That feels like maybe even a little much. Maybe I'm crazy. But the bench being those guys, I just don't know. And we're gonna have to go against Milwaukee in the first round, probably Milwaukee or Detroit. Which we really could win those games. That's I don't know. I'm slowly progressing here. I'm actually doing I'm doing a pretty solid job, I think. Um, I do think that we can win in this first round. Really, I really do. I think that we'll probably be the favorite in the first round. Even I honestly, even if we're not the higher seed, unless we fall to the 6, in which case we're against the Knicks again, in which I don't want to have to do that right now. I would love to just have a home court series. But then it's Boston or Cleveland. It's probably Cleveland. And Cleveland's been bad recently, so I mean, maybe there's something on the table there. Maybe Nemhell is perfect for Donovan Mitchell, or maybe that's Nemhard on, like, I don't know. This is again the other reason why I think that it's why I understand why the Pacers aren't being talked about right now is that I don't exactly see that step forward coming forth right now, because like we want to keep Miles, right? We don't want to lose Miles. But how much is Miles going to cost? Miles is $25 million a year, probably, give or take $5 million, maybe. Even then, it's probably probably not take. And we're not trading Pascal, I think, right? I would think that isn't something we could do. And in the world that we're not and we're obviously not trading Halliburton. Halliburton is never ever on the table. He's right now for these Pacers, unless like Nico Harrison shows up, not anymore, but like Nico Harrison walks in and says you want Luka, Halliburton's not on the table. It's not happening. And so if assuming that Halliburton is there, Pascal is there, and Miles is making $25 million, it's just going to be a little tough to get that guy in the building that can really add that next level. And it's not that we don't have like the contracts to make it happen. It's that I don't know that that it can't be a hypothetical person. We can't. As much as I would love for it to be like Anthony Edwards, I think he is the if I could pick one guy in the league to drop on my basketball team today, I mean, like, or in the real world, it'd be like, you make a trade that would make sense. I would love for it to be Anthony Edwards. I would love for the Timberwolves to just continue to like try to shake it up, because they try to go all in on Kevin Durant, and like I can really see a world where Anthony Edwards feels good about how active the front office is to try to make moves happen to make the team better. But I'd also maybe view that as frantic and like I don't know, like scary to be on that team, right? Not feel good about the future when you're just always throwing around these guys' lives, These guys joined Minnesota and said, I love it here. I want to stay here for the rest of my life. And they said, get the fuck out. We want Julius Randle. Like, what? I wouldn't feel great about that, maybe. I'm saying maybe. I think that's a reasonable route for him to go to. And if they keep doing that and he says, I don't want to be here anymore, him and Halliburton are buddies. I think. I'm pretty sure they're friends. This seemed to be buddies on Team USA. We love trading for these 2020 draft picks. We got all of them. We had 5 of them, I think. I mean, I just can't imagine it working any better in a world where we're not losing Miles or losing Pascal, right? And even maybe in that situation you do trade Pascal because the money needs to work, because the CBA is stupid. But like the Pacers really truly, I think, making that jump to the contenders tier is that. I think that maybe a Zion move makes us close, and you start going, can they get there? But then you still go, probably not. Like, we'll see what they can do, but it doesn't feel like they're gonna be on that same level, you know. And I don't know who else really fits on the team. But that doesn't stop teams in the past from just trading for whoever. The Lakers trading KCP, Kyle Kuzma in a first for Russell Westbrook. I think that was the trade. God, that was terrible. Obviously, Luka. Never know. Crazy things happen. Crazy things happen, but it seems like the Pacers don't like doing the crazy thing in a they would rather play it a little smarter. Not try to make a decision that doesn't necessarily make sense. Like the Paul George trade was a huge win. Paul George said, "I'm not re-signing here. I love you guys. It's not happening. We're not winning anything. I want to go." And they got the two next best players for the franchise, which then got us Halliburton. And so I don't know. Anthony Edwards has to become available for us to be able to trade him for him. Or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. And I do think that it's really whatever it takes for Anthony Edwards. He turns the team, like, he turns Halliburton into the best number 2 in the league. Surely. There's God, I'm on Twitter a little too much, and I don't know, Bucks fans. It's weird being a Packer fan and a Pacer fan right now, because the Bucks fans really, really hate the Pacers. They really don't like them. And because, we beat them in the playoffs last year. So I'm watching all of these Bucks accounts, who are also Packer accounts, talking shit about the Pacers, comparing the Pacers to the Vikings, and I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, man. What are you doing? Like, Patrick Beverley was being weird, dude. That shit was weird. What are you talking about? I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird spot to be in. And I bring that up because saying that in the world where Halliburton becomes a 2, or he becomes the second best player on a team, that he's immediately the second best player on a team in the league. God, I don't know. But that's the thing, is I think I would say maybe yes, because I think that Halliburton's game will be affected in almost no way. His stats, his game, his stats will look the same. His gameplay will look the same, if not being significantly better. I don't think that he looks any worse at all. And I think other people, you lose, you have to give a little bit, like not in any bad way, but you got to give a little bit because you're playing with somebody else. And I just don't think that that's how his game works. And I think he's better than Dame. He's better than Dame, dude. Maybe you want to do Kyrie. I don't know. Today, I mean, his torn ACL, so who is he? Just kind of, I don't even think he counts right now. LeBron, never mind. That's on me. My bad, dog. My bad. I forgot. But so yeah, I don't know if the Pacers move forward, is what I'm saying. The Pacers need something to kind of fall in their lap to work out, and I don't know if it will. And I don't know if this core is going to get there on their own, right? We keep talking about it, but maybe Mathurin really is just an elite playoff riser. And maybe he is the guy that we're looking for, right? Maybe Anthony Edwards does. We don't need him because we have Benedict Mathurin. You know, I'm saying maybe. I'm not talking about today. So obviously, but like maybe there's a world where Benedict Mathurin is a crazy playoff riser, is doing this shit that he's doing now in the starting lineup in the playoffs. And then we get into the next season, and he goes, I know I can do this. The team knows I can do this, and we build off of that. And then there's a, I don't know how we afford everybody. I mean, maybe we start flipping guys for picks, and then maybe he does keep going. But Mathurin will get paid a little. I don't know. Talking myself into it a little bit. Maybe the guys get a little closer to the mean. Mathurin's a playoff riser. Cleveland plays bad. Boston's played just a lot of basketball. It's a ton of basketball, man. A lot of their guys played in the Olympics. They played all the way to the finals. They've been in the conference finals. Just a ton of basketball, dude. It wears on you. I'm not suggesting that they would get hurt. I'm just suggesting that they get tired. And I don't know, maybe. That's all I'm saying is maybe they lose that game. Maybe they lose that series. That's what I said last year when we got swept. But they said we were the best. They said that we gave them their best series. They did. Telling you what the team that swept us said is that we were the hardest series. And I don't know. And the problem is that I don't think that will happen. Right? How much I would love for that to happen, I don't think it will. But like in the world that like we would get someone like Anthony Edwards, I really do think that could happen. And like really maybe it will. If Anthony Edwards can keep being the guy that we've seen him be in the playoffs these past few years, and Halliburton can, keep playmaking and have Miles at the helm, and Pascal maybe stays. I don't know. Pascal stays solid. Nesmith plays good defense. I mean, who can't we beat doing that? Is all I'm saying. Is who can't we beat? If all of those things are true, I don't think anyone is invincible to that. Invincible, the show. It's just a TV show I like. I don't know if you've heard of it. Go Sirs.